welcome to Sarah's Stampin' Retreat. Today we're going to be creating a diorama card with no specialty dies. It's just our trimmer. So for my card I'm going to use these Winter Splash quick card backgrounds from Stampendous at Spellbinders. And you get two each of these sheets in the pack. We're going to be using this one. And I'm going to be using these Stampendous Gnome dies, which are also from Spellbinders. So I was kindly gifted these, but you could obviously use whatever you like to decorate this card. So I'm going to be creating a 5x7 card. So I've got a 5x7 navy card blank, and I've also got a 5x7 panel to go in front of it. So if you've got a 4x6 rectangle die, you could absolutely use that to cut the window out of this. But I'm going to cut a 4x6 piece out of the middle. So I'm going to line it up at the 1/2 inch line here, and then I'm going to cut from 1/2 inch to 6.5 inches. Now I'm going to turn around, put it at 1/2 inch, and then I'm going to cut from 1/2 inch to 4.5 inches. Then I'm going to turn it round, again 1/2 inch, and I'm going to cut from 1/2 inch to 6.5 inches, and then again I'm lining it up at 1/2 inch, and this time I'm going to cut from 1/2 inch to 4.5 inches. So then you've got this nice frame. So I've cut the side of this part of the card, and I've cut it at just under 5 inches wide because I want it to make sure that it's really covered by this frame, that's not sticking out the edges at all. You can see that I cut it a bit shorter lengthways, and that is because I wanted to use this piece, and then I also wanted to use this piece that I cut at off the bottom. So I cut it just under 5 inches wide, and then I've cut it just at the top of this tree here because I want to use this tree, and this will still fit behind my frame. So then what I'm going to do is I'm going to glue this piece. This is going to be the back of my diorama. So I'm going to glue this piece onto my card front. And each time I can put this over the top just so that I can see what's visible and make sure that I'm happy with how my card's building up. So then the reason I wanted to use this tree is because it's a nice big one that kind of pops out to the front of the card. So then what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to cut along this kind of quite visible snowbank here, and then I'm going to cut out this tree. So then that will come like that and kind of create like a foreground to our picture. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run a line of frame tape all the way around my frame. So this will be the back of the frame. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line this up at the bottom of the frame. As you can see, then I've got that will go over there. So then I want to add another layer of frame tape all the way around the frame. And then on this one I'm also going to just lay a couple of bits behind this piece of paper. And then I'm just going to carefully place this on my card front. So then I want to make up my cute little gnomes. But I've got these pieces of spare white cardstock because I want to glue the pieces to here because I want them to lift up off the card. I want to be able to use foam pads behind them, and there's no kind of base piece to these. You'd normally build them up on the actual card. So I want to build them up on this piece of card so that I can pop them up. So I'm just going to cover this piece in glue, and then I can add all my bits to it. So I've just cut out all the pieces of gnomes in different colours of cardstock. I'm just going to layer them up. And I'm just going to add a bit of extra glue behind anywhere where I feel like it needs it. And then just here where I can still see a bit of that card behind, I'm just going to trim that off. And I can add on his nose. With this one I'm going to just add the feet to the back of here before I put it on, because I think that makes it easier to see where they're going to be positioned. So then what I'm going to do is add some fine pads behind the nose. I've not pushed down this one just yet, just in case I need to pop one of these arms behind him from this other one. And then I'm going to use this Christmas sentiment set from Alice Siberia Designs, which you may have seen me use quite a lot recently. And use this We Wish You a Merry Christmas. So then ideally I would have done this at the start, but I kind of changed my mind, so now I'm going to have a go at doing it now. If not, if it doesn't work out, that's fine. I'll just go over it. I'll just pop a piece of cardstock over it. But I'm going to try and just heat emboss this onto here, even though we've made it up. And I can see that that's not stamped as nicely as I would have liked. Obviously, we're trying to stamp on something that's got loads of foam behind it and stuff like that, so I did think it might not work so well. But if you're making this and you want it stamped on there, do it on the frame before you make it up, obviously. And I am just going to stamp this onto a spare piece of cardstock, and then I'll cut it out and add it onto my card afterwards. So then, since I've ended up taking this off, so I'm going to put it up. It just makes it seem more intentional then. So then we've got this really cute card. It's got quite a lot of depth, so it may be one that you want to send by hand as opposed to posting, but it's really cute and it has loads and loads of dimension and interest to it. So I really hope that you enjoyed today's card. If you did, I'd really appreciate clicking like below, and you can also press subscribe if you'd like to see future videos. If you press the bell button and select all, then YouTube will also notify you when I have new video available. All of the products that I've used for today's video are listed in the description below, and there's also a link there to my blog where you can find a picture supply list if that helps you find what you're looking for. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope to see you again soon.